If this handshake was considered historic,
It'll be fun when we go.
then U.S. President Barack Obama's upcoming visit to Cuba will be legacy-making. At least that is what his administration is hoping for. The trip meant to cement the changes that he's put in place, normalizing relations with Cuba after more than 50 years. On the streets of Havana, there's a sense of the changing times.
Here's to hoping, to the holiest we have, that both presidents can reach an understanding between themselves, and then we can happily have good relations that do not harm either of the two countries.
They need to end that blockade finally and open up commerce with Cuba, because Cubans here in the streets are spending a lot of money and everything is very expensive.
For the Cuban government, the visit is yet another stage in the process.
To achieve the normalization of relations between the two countries, the blockade has to be lifted and the territory occupied by the naval base in Guantanamo has to be returned.
The White House says the return of Guantanamo Bay is not on the table, and the president can't lift the embargo, but he will meet with dissidents. Critics say given the Cuban government's human rights record, the president shouldn't be going. Amnesty International tracks the numbers.
We've seen just in November last year 1,400 political motivated arrests. So we still see political dissent being crushed and a lot of arbitrary detentions.
A top aide to the U.S. president says Cuba hasn't made the progress Washington was hoping for.
Not going and isolating Cuba doesn't serve to advance those issues, that we will be in a better position to support human rights and to support a better life for the Cuban people by engaging them and raising these issues directly.
The president will also visit Argentina. The last U.S. president to go there, George W. Bush, was not well received. Relations between the two countries continue to sour. But now the White House is hoping this visit sends the message that they approve of the new president, Mauricio Macri. In Buenos Aires, opinions differed on what it will really mean.
I think that the U.S. visit doesn't contribute at all, not politically, not economically.
This shows the opening of Argentina to the world. We are open now. We were isolated from the world, and well, this is the change.
The White House is hoping, if nothing else, this visit reminds people of the changes he's tried to put in place, because the next president could change it right back. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.